Next one is called Pillar of the Sky. Now this one is to twist the right and left channels. Now in this one we're going to have that same situation of our arms all the way up. Okay. Well, the way we're going to get there is a little different. Okay, so we're going to start feet shoulder width and parallel, getting our Jianzhuang posture, feeling the right and left channels in the center line, aligning everything. Then we can interlace our fingers, gently press the palms downward, shoulder blades downward. And we're going to create a pillar sensation with the torso, a sense of being a column. So we're going to bring our arms out. Now, I want you to notice my shoulders did not lift. When I come up, I don't want this at all. No shoulder lift. So you only go up as high as you can, keeping your shoulders relaxed and down. Once you're here, we're going to pay particular attention to the ball and socket joints of the hips, the ball and socket joints of the shoulders, and the right and left channels between them. We're really focusing on the torso here. One of the things that happens sometimes when I watch people do this and I teach it, they will actually pull their body in the twist we're about to make with their arms. And their arm will move over to the side like this. And you can see here, the hands are actually to the side of the body. And that just binds up and twists up the shoulders. What we're trying to do here is turn the torso, not the shoulders. The arms, the hands are going to stay directly in front of the center of my chest. I'm going to anchor my lower dantian and my pelvis to the ground. I'm not going to twist here at all. I want this to stay still, so I have to let go of tension between the chest and the lower dantian. And I'm going to turn only the middle dantian and shoulders. And again, my hands are right in front of the center of my chest, and I'm going to feel in here for where my tension is, and I'm going to try to release it with my exhale. Then I can turn my neck and head, and I get a nice spiral twist to the whole spine. Now I'm paying particular attention to these ball and socket joints of the hips and making sure I'm not collapsing them and letting it turn my hips. I've got to try to keep a gentle extension so my hips stay open and don't close and twist. Then I come back to the center and I go to the other side. If I find I've twisted a little, the first thing I do is I come back and I seat that hip, letting it pull me back, and then I anchor it. And I anchor the right and left side. If you pay particular attention to both sides, the right and the left, and their rotation, and have them work together to create stabilization, you'll have a much better lower body structure for this particular Qigong. So on my inhales, I'm going to get a feeling of expansion, both vertically and along the column. On my exhales, I'm going to release. Then I'm going to come back to the center, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did, but I'm going to do it with my hands up again. If this is as far as I can go without my shoulders lifting, then that's as far as I go. But I'm trying to work towards pressing the shoulders down and bringing the hands up. Okay? Ideally, we want the hands directly above the Bai Hui point at the top of the center of the head. Okay? So again, we start from here, elongate the spine, keep those shoulder blades down, and press up. Now, like for me, I just felt some tension right here where I was tempted to lift, so I stopped for a moment, and I squeeze gently with my mind intent to release that outward. And then I bring my hands up. And then once I'm up, I feel my center line in my right and left channels, and I turn only the chest, again, anchoring the lower body. And neck and head. And if I really focus on those right and left channels, feeling them inside the torso here, I'll find I can rotate it just a little bit further and really open up those muscles a little bit. And back to the center, and then the other side. And back to the center. We'll release the hands, grab one wrist, and I'm going to make an arc on that left channel from hand, or from foot to hand, and arc the whole thing, particularly along this mid-torso. Arcing it over and elongating it. Then I'm going to pivot on the center line, using my core muscles, and come up. Come back to the center, grasp the other wrist, and create an arc in the other direction. Again, inhaling and elongating, exhaling and releasing. Rotating along the center line and coming up. I bring my arms out and down. Slowly letting the shoulder blades come towards each other in the back. Bringing the arms down slowly still to behind the body. Bring my hands at the beginning. When we start here, we're going to start with just bringing the hands back here. Lift the chest, arch the back a little bit, let the shoulders fall down. I'm trying to open up here. And lift the chin. And relax. Release the arms. Notice everything's really sort of gradual. When I let go of a movement that has a little bit more intention to it, I don't ever just stop. I let the muscles release slowly so that they don't snap back into their habituated tension. Okay? I also try not to use a lot of force in any of it. Gentle encouragement. Okay. Next is pressing the earth, and 2 dragons circle the pond. Pressing the earth. The key to this is pressing the knees back. I want to make sure I'm not staying bent in the knees at all. I'm actually going to, this is the one time in Tai Chi Chi Go you can lock your legs. And you really want to. You're going to press the knees back and gently contract the quadriceps so it kind of pulls the kneecap up a little so that there's a gripping. But it's not hard. It's just firm. Okay, I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see. I'm going to keep my feet roughly shoulder width. The key in this pressing the earth is the back has to stay flat. So I start with, I elongate my tailbone down and my head up. I support the core with my abdomen and my lower dantian. I gently pull up on the perineum, gently draw in on the urethral muscles and the rectal muscles just to give a really good support to the lower pelvis, okay, and the lower dantian. Press the knees back, and I fold with the chest out, trying to flatten the back. Now what I'm going to do is I come down, any place where I find even a little bit of tension, I'm not going to skip over it because sure, there might be a little bit of tension in this little strand and only about this long, maybe an inch long right up here, and I can just move past it. But I want that open before I get that far down. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to use my breath to move the chi. And I'm going to inhale, press my heels down, lift my sacrum, extend my tailbone back and my head out. And on my exhale, I'm going to release, and you'll find I can just go right through it. That tension just dissolves away. You can see how I'm trying to keep my back flat. It's hard to do that while I'm looking at the camera. So I'm going to focus here. And I encountered a little bit of tension, so I stop and I notice if I reposition my feet, I can engage that tension a little bit more directly. And this is always just about trying to engage what's stuck, not force myself into a longer stretch. My goal is not necessarily to get to a position. My goal is to free up my body. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to do that, stopping where I need to stop to release what I need to release where it exists. Get to the bottom, I'll generally reach with my arms just a little bit, just to make sure my body doesn't bounce back from my maximum stretch. And just hold it there. And with every inhale, I'm going to try to elongate my tailbone and head away from each other. Press my heels down and lift my sacrum. With every exhale, I'm going to try to release any held tension and energy.
keeping my weight between my feet. I'm not going to shift, but I am going to rotate my center line so that it aims towards one foot. I'm going to place the opposite hand on the knee to keep my knee from bending, and my other hand behind the ankle or leg, just to help me stabilize and release, so I don't have to use as much strength in the leg to hold it in position. And I can focus on elongating instead of holding. Then I come over to the other side. Again, it puts the hand on the knee, the other hand behind the leg or the ankle. That way I can release the holding in the leg that keeps it straight. I'm always feeling the triangle of the foot all the way up to the ball and socket joint of the hip and into the spine. Trying to elongate and align. Find where my tensions are keeping me from being aligned and long. And just release them into the extension. Back to the center. I'm going to turn towards you, but you go ahead and stay down. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see this next one a little bit more clearly. This one's called Two Dragons Circle the Pond. And that really talks about the right and left channels. And they're going to kind of do this to create a motion. Okay? So I'm going to get in my posture, come back down to where I was, and I've been to one side, and Two Dragons Circle the Pond. I'm going to reach with the back hand behind, kind of pressing with my hand into the air. Reach with the front hand towards the ground, and I'm going to turn back and forth, trying to keep the legs straight and long, the spine straight and long, reaching with the hands, using the right and left channels, like dragons, reaching out, circling the pond, circling low. Now, if you're paying attention to the way it feels here, you'll feel like an elongating, and you'll feel the plasticity of the tissue, particularly in the hips, low back, sacrum, and inguinal area, all around that low back, sacrum, and hip area. And you'll feel like they get, elongated and twisted, and that's what we want in this. And you'll feel a natural plasticity. You'll feel like when you want to go back the other way, you can twist the power of the right and left channels. And that creates the movement. And that strength creates a plastic strength, or a very elastic strength in those deep ball and socket joints. And then from here, we finish this series with a squat stance. Now, I want to give you a word about this squat stance before we do it. And that is, listen to your body, okay? Particularly your knees. If this is as low as you can go in the squat stance, where you're not straining your knees, your weight is on your legs, do this. My weight is in the center of the triangle of the feet. Don't try to do what I'm doing unless your body is actually capable of it without strain. You want to build strength and flexibility to get here, not hurt yourself to get there. So as I'm here, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to drop my hips underneath my upper body weight. Drop in, bring my elbows inside the arms, and press them open. I'm trying to extend my tailbone down, the top of my head up. I'm trying to gently squeeze the back of my arms with my legs to strengthen the inguinal muscles, and I'm trying to root through my feet. And breathe into my lower dantian. Up from this, I'm going to press with my legs into my low back, and I'm going to roll my spine up from the bottom to top. And then as I go to a closing sequence, so as I come up, I'm going to use these twisting right and left channels, twisting out to press. You're going to feel how that your glutes come around and press the lower spine in, and I'm going to take the muscles along the lower spine and work them straight up, like a dragon rising. And then I'm going to rotate in, pull in, and I'm going to use my abdominal muscles
and pull up and kind of roll my abdominal muscles so my spine goes the other way. And I rotate out again and in again. Trying to create an articulation in the spine. This is called dragon spine. If you have back trouble, I highly recommend this practice regularly and extensively. Okay? You're going to be stimulating all the nerves, you're going to be stimulating all the muscles, and you're going to be inducing movement in the cranial sacral fluid. Okay? Very good for your body, very good for your nervous system, very good for your vitality. Think about all the nerve roots along the spine as they come out from the spine and enter into your organs. The better communication and the more free flow of blood and life force there is, the better the organs will operate, both individually but also collectively as a group, with each other in cooperation. Okay? All right. So the very last thing is just a shaking off of the body so that any remaining tension or stagnant chi is just kind of let go. This is called wild horse shakes his mane. And you just take a deep breath in and you're going to begin shaking the body from the fingertips, through the shoulders, down the torso, all the way to the feet. Please don't shake your neck and head back and forth. The small muscles of the scalenes don't like it. It's basically a bowling ball up here, and those muscles aren't really good at taking sudden impacting and changing motions. And you never know what's going to rattle out of there. All right, so we take a deep breath in, we shake the body from fingers all the way to feet. Just. And I like to do that a few times, so we'll do it a couple more. And one more time. And I shake the feet out. Then I bring the feet together. And I perform a closing maneuver. Just inhale, gathering my awareness and my attention inward. Letting it move down through the body, starting with the upper dantian, through the middle dantian, through the lower dantian, all the way to the ground. Just kind of releasing any stagnation. Centering myself. Take a moment to notice how you feel. This is a very good practice for discipline. To notice how you feel at the end. I want to talk about that really briefly before we close. There are times when you will want to practice, but you'll find some internal resistance. You won't really feel like it. You'll have just I'm not in the mood for that, or whatever. If you begin to train yourself at the end of this, to feel, to notice how you feel, when you encounter that resistance, all you have to do is remember that feeling. Remember what it feels like to be done. And then tell yourself you'll just start and do whatever you feel like doing at that point. Just start. And what you will notice is usually after the first couple of exercises, you won't want to stop. You want to finish them all. But even if you do, you've at least kept your promise to do a little bit that day. And that's powerful, because one of the things we're trying to develop in all of this is something called inner power, internal power, which is the power of our mind intent and our will to engage with things that are difficult and make change. We're trying to change the condition of our body from what makes us not feel good and feel healthy and alive and vibrant or stressed, and what does make us feel healthy and alive and vibrant and not stressed. Okay? Shasha, thank you very much, and we'll start the practice video shortly.